by now, you know we like to have some fun. Want to welcome each and every one of you to our Tuesday night webinar. And typically what we do on Tuesday nights, which is what we'll do tonight, is we share the message of a new advertising platform that is actually going to pay you and I to do things that we're already doing. What are we already doing? We're shopping online. We're watching online, a lot of videos that we're watching online, searching online. So imagine having a system that pays you to do what you're already doing: shopping, watching, and searching. And so that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Before we get to that new platform, particularly for those of you who are here for the first time, or maybe you've just registered with that platform, you don't really know what everything is all about. That's really what we're going to do for the first part of this webinar. What I want to do, though, is I want to go back and I want us to take a look at the 800-pound gorilla, the big video sharing site out there, the one that everybody's familiar with, known as YouTube. And as we look at YouTube historically and see how far she's come since she started back in February of 2005, I want us to ask ourselves the questions: if YouTube had a rewards program, meaning for every time you went and you watched a YouTube video, or every time you shared a YouTube video. So maybe you saw a YouTube video and it was a funny video. It was about funny things that dogs do or cats do, or maybe it was a news video and you posted that on Facebook, or you sent that out in an email, or you tweeted that out. Imagine every time someone watched that video that you shared, if YouTube actually rewarded you, all right, if you actually got paid for that. Or every time you went to YouTube to search for something, that was generating revenue for you. You know, how different would your financial life be right now? Now, obviously, YouTube doesn't do that. They don't need to do that. But it would have been nice if they'd have done that. So I want to go back in time and I want to take a look at YouTube, because the platform that is launching, people are now able to start viewing. People are starting to earn what we call tokens that will then be converted into cash. That platform is really basing itself off of YouTube. YouTube being the big 800-pound gorilla. So let's go back in time. Back in February of 2005 is when YouTube was launched. Now, back then, I don't think any of us would have thought that YouTube would become the behemoth that it has become. Now, what's very interesting is it was founded in February of 2005, but they didn't even load up the very first video until April 24th of 2005. So what is that? That was 2 months, a little more, 2 months and 10 days after YouTube was actually formed, before the first video. And, it would be interesting for you to go and check out that first video. Give me just a moment here. Okay, this was one of the owners of YouTube, one of the founders of YouTube, Jawed Karim. The first video was an 18-second video. He was at the San Diego Zoo. And, when you get a chance, go to YouTube and maybe just put in the search, first ever YouTube video. You'll get a chance to see this video. Watch that video. And I think, for me, it was comical. Okay, I laughed at it because I watched the video and I said, there's no way, had I seen that back in 2005, and even if YouTube had a rewards program, which obviously we know they don't, but if they had a rewards program, if they had said, hey, we're going to build this huge behemoth of an advertising platform centered around video. When people go and watch videos, there'll be ads to the top of the video, to the bottom of the video. When people click to watch the video, there'll be an ad preceding the video, maybe an ad after the video. And because of all of that advertising, we're going to become a juggernaut. We're going to ultimately be worth tens of billions of dollars. I don't think any of us, if we would have seen this video way back then, would have thought that would have happened for YouTube. Let's go a little bit about the history. And the reason I'm sharing this is because I want us to have some vision as we take a look at this new advertising platform, all right, that we'll share on tonight. All right, so here we go. February 2005, it was launched. April 2005, I had that first video. Again, after the video, after the webinar, go, at your own leisure, go to YouTube, type in first ever YouTube video. You'll see that video. It's really a hoot. Now, actually, Google saw what YouTube could become and purchased it. Back then, that was the biggest purchase Google had ever made. This was a huge purchase, a huge coup for Google, given what YouTube is now worth. Now, it took YouTube about, let's see here, February 2005, that's the second month of the year, June 2007, that's the 6 months. So it took them 2 years and 4 months, before YouTube launched in countries outside of the US. Our platform, actually, we started hearing about it in a beta form back in June of this year. It entered into a soft launch on July 4th, July 5th of this year. We're currently in the stage that we call pre-launch, but we're already in over 200 countries. Already over 200 countries. Okay, YouTube got its first hit 1 billion daily video views on October 2009, and so it took from February 2005 until October 2009. I feel a cough coming on. Excuse me. Excuse me there. Okay, it took what is that 5.5 years or so before they hit 1 billion views. But look at this. From October 2009 to May 2010, just about 8 months, they went from 1 billion views a day to 2 billion views a day. All right, so I want you to imagine if we could go back in time, if YouTube had a rewards program, if YouTube said, hey, when you watch a video, you're going to earn when you watch that video. If you share that video, you're going to earn when you share that video, assuming that the person you shared it with watches the video. Why? Because there's advertising in the platform. And by having more and more people watching the content, then that makes the advertising more valuable to the advertisers. See, here's one of the challenges that advertisers have been having recently over the past few years, particularly TV advertisers, is that more and more people are moving away from watching live TV. So TV advertising has always been the bellwether. It's been the cornerstone, the bedrock of the advertising world. But more and more people are using things like Netflix, or they're using things like Hulu Plus, or they have a DVR where they're recording their favorite shows, and like me, and then when they sit down to watch them after it's been recorded, they're fast forwarding through the advertisements. So that has led to the Facebooks of the world and the Googles of the world and the YouTubes of the world being able to become these huge advertising juggernauts, because they allow a medium for big business and even small business and even mom and pop business to get their message in front of millions and millions and millions of people. Okay, now let's look at YouTube now. Okay, give me a moment. I'll blow this up a little bit for you. And again, I just want us to get the sense of just how big this new advertising platform can become. Now, we're in pre-launch right now, and when you're in pre-launch, this is where things are still getting ready to get ready. This is where there's a change here or there. Pre-launch is not always the most comfortable place to be, but the beautiful part is you can get started with this new platform absolutely free. There is a small outlay if you choose to participate, which we would strongly recommend that you consider doing so, of $10 a month. We'll talk about that in just a few moments. And then we'll show you how you can make some money. Okay. All right. So again, as we take a look at YouTube, now YouTube is up to about 5 billion video views a day, every single day. 8 out of 10 18 to 49-year-olds watch YouTube. They're saying that I just saw this today. This one blew me away. By 2025, half of viewers under 32 won't even subscribe to a paid TV service. They won't have cable, all right? Because they'll get all of their viewing online, whether it's YouTube or whether it's other services, again, like YouTube, Hulu Plus or what have you. They'll be watching stuff on their phone. And so the whole point is video is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And now mobile is becoming a huge part of YouTube's revenues. All right, mobile YouTube users spend 40 minutes on an average session, and that's up more than 50% from the previous year. Give me just a moment. There was one, I may not, I'm missing it here. This one right here. 80% of YouTube's views are now from outside of the US. Remember, it was 2.5 years or so before YouTube ever launched outside of the US. This is a huge number. 80% of all YouTube views, 5 billion views a day. So roughly 80% of that would be 4 billion of the 5 billion are being viewed outside of the US. Real quickly, and then we'll get to the new platform. What's YouTube worth? Depends on who you're asking. It depends on how they are calculating what YouTube may be worth. YouTube is owned by Google. Google oftentimes from Wall Street and the big investment banks out there, they don't like how Google reports their numbers because Google doesn't really break things down publicly as to, well, how much of their revenues, how much of their net worth is coming specifically from YouTube versus their other properties. So these are very educated guesstimates, anywhere from $77 billion to as much as $104 billion. So they are estimating now that YouTube is worth somewhere between about 80 to 100 billion dollars. That's why I said when Google bought YouTube for $1.6 billion, in retrospect, that was cheap. That was really cheap. Okay. Now, really quickly, who's benefiting from that? Well, unfortunately, it's not you and me. You know, there's the advertising elite. Who are the advertising elite? Well, they would be people like Larry Page. Well, who the heck is Larry Page? Well, he's only the CEO of Google. And you can see here he is worth $38.8 billion. Now, that's not all YouTube. That's not all YouTube, all right? Because Google obviously is the #1 search engine in the world. And, you know, it generates about $17 billion per quarter in advertising revenues, just the Google brand, not to include YouTube, okay? So it's not all YouTube, but certainly some of this net worth is YouTube. There's another co-founder of Google, Mr. Brin. Well, he's a pauper. He's poor, right? Because he's worth only $37.8 billion. Larry is worth 38.8. So if you add these two co-founders of Google, if you add their net worth up, they're worth almost $80 billion collectively. I would consider them to be the advertising elite. Who else would be the advertising elite? Oh, how about the TV networks or Facebook? You know, obviously Zuckerberg, I think he's worth like 50-some billion dollars or something like that. All right, advertising elite. Other people that are able to take advantage of advertising. Your favorite actor or actress on your favorite sitcom or your favorite drama. Well, what's paying those salaries? It's those TV ads that's paying those salaries. Your favorite basketball player or baseball player or football player, what's paying in large part, not totally, but what's paying some of those big salaries? It's advertising dollars because of these big deals that the NFL or the NBA cut with the networks. So the average person really has not been able to tap into this huge mega market called the global advertising pie. Not until now. Not until now. So back in June 16th to be exact, I get an email from a very dear buddy of mine, someone that I've done business with since 2008. And it was talking about a platform, a video platform that was launching that would pay people to view videos. And the name of that company is THW Global. And so as we go to THW Global here, you're going to see it looks a lot like YouTube, all right, where you can go and you can watch videos. So you can see here, for instance, a lot of people are concerned about Hurricane Matthew. If you were to click here, and let's say you were going to watch the video, all right, I'm not going to press the video button because it'll start playing. What you'll notice here is you've got an advertisement over here to the top right. You've got an advertisement down here. You've got people that are making comments about the video. There's some more videos here. And if we were to click on, well, I'll tell you what, I will do this. I'll probably click out. So as we click on here, before we actually get to the news, oops. All right, so what just happened there is there was a commercial. And typically with the videos on the THW Global site, there'll be a commercial before the video content, and then there'll be a commercial after the video content. Okay, so you can see up here there is a search bar. Now, obviously, the search engine isn't nearly as robust right now as the YouTube search engine. The YouTube search engine, by the way, is the #2 search engine in the world after Google. Okay, and I forget what the numbers are. I know if you were to add up Yahoo and Yahoo, Bing, and a few other search engines, they wouldn't even still collectively come up to YouTube. So obviously, in time, there'll be a lot more search results and what have you. So I'm going to go to my whiteboard to begin to explain how all of this works, and then how you can start to generate some revenue by being a part of THW Global. So the name of the company is THW Global, and that THW stands for 10 hours a week, or 10 hours weekly. Okay. Now what they're going to do is they're going to reward us to shop. Now the shopping element has not been turned on just yet. Remember, THW Global is in pre-launch. So some things are working, obviously, the videos are working and what have you, but there's some elements that are to come that aren't here just yet. So to shop, to watch, all right, watching videos, and to search. Right now, there's not a lot from the searching, so most of us are focusing in on the watching. So here's how this works. Okay? Number one, you can join for free. All right, you can join for free. Just like you set up your Facebook account, it was free. Just like you set up YouTube account, it was free. So you can join for free. So there is no financial risk, obviously, because you can join for free. All right, number two, once you join, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to watch 10 hours of content. Now that can be 10 hours in a day, that could be 10 hours in a week, 10 hours in a month, or 10 hours in a year. All right, you want to watch 10 hours of content, and the reason being is we call this, I like to refer to this, Queen, who was doing the introduction, she likes to refer to this as your training. Okay, now why is this in place? Well, the reason this is in place is most of you that have been involved in any type of home business enterprise, particularly something like network marketing. What are you used to in network marketing? You're used to, let's say, a nutritional company. All right, what you're used to is getting started with some type of package. Maybe it's $199 and you get so much of the product, or maybe it's $299, or maybe it's $499, or maybe it's a grand poobah package of $999 or what have you. Okay, and typically what happens is whatever that pricing model happens to be, the company, all right, that network marketing company has priced in certain things. All right, so for instance, it costs to have the website, the replicated website that you have, that you log in, that you send out your link, and people can join you. And if they join you and they buy product, you make money. Or if they just buy product, retail, you get the difference between their retail price and your wholesale price in a traditional network marketing type of scenario. And what typically happens is the company has the pricing structure so that it covers things like the website, all right? And in many cases, you're not paying for the website. Now, there are some models out there where you do pay for the website, or you pay some type of monthly affiliate fee. Maybe I've seen them for $9.95 a month or $19.95 a month. That had nothing to do with commissions. That was just an affiliate fee. Well, that affiliate fee helped to offset some of the company's expenses, like the website, or like paying you commissions, payment processors and things of that nature. Well, what THW Global wanted to have is they wanted to be able to offer a free business so that there were no barriers to entry. Anybody, anywhere in the world, and particularly because they recognize that 80% of the views that are now coming from YouTube are coming from outside of the US. Well, when you start opening up to countries outside of the US or Canada or Australia or the United Kingdom or New Zealand, from a marketing perspective, that's where a lot of people focus their effort and energy, because those countries tend to have higher wages. Higher wages means that many folks in those countries can afford higher pricing for the products and the services that are being marketed through network marketing companies. All right. Well, what THW Global wanted to do is they foresaw that there were going to be a lot of people in a lot of different countries that maybe wages were suppressed. Wages weren't that high. And so they wanted to have a free opportunity that anyone in the world could be able to take advantage of. Now, in order to help offset the costs associated with the website, and be mindful that THW Global's cost for operating a website is a whole lot more money than, let's say, that nutritional network marketing company. Why? Because typically, with that network marketing company, that nutritional company, people aren't on that site for hours per week. Here at THW Global, our folks want to be on the site. They want to be watching video content as much as 10 hours a week. Why? Because they're being rewarded. They're earning something called tokens that will ultimately be able to be converted into cash. Okay? All right, so here's what you would do. You would join for free with the person that introduced you to THW Global. You want to watch 10 hours of content. Think of this as training. You're not earning rewards during this time. This is basically sweat equity to cover the cost of the site, so you don't have to come up with the money. Okay. Now I know some of you would say, "Hey, well, just charge me and I'll pay it," but that's not going to be everybody. And remember, we're a global business, so this is everybody does this. I did it. John, Mary, Susan. We all put in our 10 hours initially. All right. And then after the 10 hours, we're qualified to start earning from any content thereafter. Okay. Now, if you remain as what we call a free IV stands for International Viewer, okay, then on a weekly basis, you need to view a minimum of 5 hours a week. So this isn't a full-time job for you, okay? Set aside some time each day, view an hour a day where it logs an hour, do that 5 days out of the week, and you've covered your minimum requirement. Now, for those of you that really buy into everything that we'll be teaching to help you to build a business that could ultimately scale to 6 or even 7 figures, you'll want to do 10 hours a week. The minimum is 5, all right? But we want you to commit to doing 10 hours a week. Okay, so now what's going to happen is, as you are viewing, you're going to be rewarded with what are called tokens, and ultimately tokens are going to be converted into dollars. Now, right now, I can't say, hey, when you watch a video and you get these tokens, this is what this means in terms of cash money, because we're still in pre-launch. And that's something that actually is valued on a month-to-month basis. But we just started viewing for these tokens September 21st. So what I'm going to share with you is the target ultimately that THW Global wants to get to. We're not there yet. I don't anticipate that we're going to be there tomorrow or next week. I think it's going to take a little time. But let me tell you what the target is. The target is for you to ultimately be able to earn up to $25 an hour. And if you just do the math on that, if you do that 10 hours a week, that comes up to, let's say, $250 a week. So the actual target or the actual cap from your own personal activity, your own personal viewing, is, let's call it $1,000 a month. Now, do I believe that anybody at this stage of where THW Global is going to make $1,000 a month simply viewing 10 hours a week? No, I do not. I do not. But that's what their target is as the system matures. Now, what does it mean as the system matures? Well, right now, when you come and you click on to watch a video, and you've got some advertising here, you've got some advertising here. If I were to click on the video, there would be an ad there as well. Okay. Matter of fact, let's just go and do that. Bear with me. Bear with me. Nunca escuchaste los consejos de tus padres. What just happened? Okay. Okay, so actually this actual ad is in Spanish. Or it certainly was in English there. All right. So now, right now, most of the advertising that you are seeing are coming from third-party ad networks. Let's say like Google. Okay. So Google may be serving these ads on our platform. So what the advertiser, all right, what the advertiser is paying to have their ad seen, the majority of that money right now is going to Google. And then they pay THW Global a much smaller amount from those advertising dollars. Then THW Global is rewarding us as we're doing the viewing in the form of these tokens and what have you. Now, what will begin to happen is more and more THW Global will have its own in-house advertisers, meaning where they've gotten contracts with different companies, different brands to have their ads served on our platform. But instead of those brands going, let's say, through the Google network, they're going straight to THW Global. There's also a process that we'll talk about in just a few moments that allows we as international viewers, as members or reps or what have you of THW Global, where you can optionally purchase a certification course, and the purpose of that certification course is so that ultimately you would know how you could actually go and get advertisers. So if you wanted to maybe talk to a mom and pop in your local area, or maybe some internet marketer or what have you, where they could actually advertise. Imagine mom and pop being able to advertise on this platform, or maybe a network marketer or an internet marketer who's selling a course advertising on this platform. And you would be paid when that happens if you were to bring that advertiser to the table. So ultimately, the game plan is for more and more of the advertising to come from in-house sources, meaning not coming through a third party like Google, where THW Global only makes a little bit, and so we only make a little bit, all right? And then ultimately more and more of this advertising is coming from in-house sources. So I want you to think this through for just a moment. Right now, we have over 1 million, I think it's going on 1.4 million registered users. And of those 1.4 million registered users, there are close to 700,000 that have done a survey, what THW Global will require us to do if we're going to view for pay is we've got to fill out a survey telling them what our interests happen to be so that when ads are being served, they are congruent with our interests, okay? So let's really use this number of 700,000, okay? All right, so when advertisers or prospective advertisers see that THW Global has 700,000 folks that are viewing, many of them are viewing several hours a week, that's going to speak volumes. As a matter of fact, give me just a moment. Give me just a moment. I forgot to bring this up. There's one slide I wanted to bring up, or one site I wanted to bring up. Give us just a moment. Okay, so now keep this in mind, and then we'll share with you a couple other ways that you're going to be able to make some money, and we'll start rounding third on this portion of our webinar. Keep this in mind. The first person that registered with THW Global from a business standpoint with the ability to tell others about it came aboard on June the 12th of this year, just a few months ago. It came across our desk on June the 16th. All right. Before that, nobody had ever heard of a THW Global. Since that time, since June, mid-June 2016, all right, so what are we talking? That's the 6th month. We're now into the 10th month. What are we talking? We're talking less than 4 months now. It's been 3.5 months, almost going on 4 months. All right, it'll be 4 months on the 12th. Independent sites are valuing THW Global at 87 million bucks, almost $88 million. Now, I don't know all the metrics they use to determine that value, but I know a big part of that has to do with how many visits are happening per day, how many page views there are on any given day, what is the length of stay for the average person that comes to the site. All right, so you can see that right now it's estimated that the site should be able to generate at least $1 million a month in revenue just from some simple monetization. Here's talks about the website traffic, estimated page views, 375 million page views. You can see here almost 2.5 million visits a day, 75 million visits a month, so on and so forth. So my whole point is, when you get started with us and you start viewing and you do your first 10 hours, all right, and then thereafter you're doing somewhere between 5 and 10 hours a week where you are earning tokens, that's ultimately going to lead to money. Don't expect right now to make $1,000 a month. Don't expect to make 25 bucks a week right now. Don't expect to make 25 bucks an hour, okay? That is going to be a process. Now, here's how I want you to view THW Global, okay? Now, earlier on, we had some folks that viewed it like a job and they promoted it like a job. I don't want to promote it like that. I don't want you thinking, okay, this is a job where I'm going to view 10 hours this week, and next week or next month, if I do view 10 hours a week, times 4 weeks out of the month, next month I'm going to get paid $1,000, okay? I don't believe it's going to happen like that. I do believe in time that could happen, but not right now. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to treat your business like a job, in that you are committed to it weekly, so that you are committing a minimum of 5 to as much as 10 hours a week viewing, all right? So it's not a job, but I do want you to treat it like a job, in that, okay, I'm committing. I'm going to make sure I get my viewing in. Now, listen, I've got a lot going on. You've got a lot going on. We all have a lot going on. But I'm committed to getting my viewing in. And a lot of times I'm getting my viewing in while I'm still doing other things. Now, when I'm working throughout the day, I'm in my business full time. I use 2 devices, a laptop and a desktop. So I'll be viewing on my laptop while I'm doing other things on my desktop, getting my viewing in, making some comments and things of that nature. So I want you to make that commitment, okay? But I want you to understand this. that your job will never pay you like a business. I'm sorry, your business, excuse me. Your business will never pay you like a job. Okay. All right. What do we mean by this? I want you to view this as a business. Don't view it as a job. All right. I want you to have the job mentality from the standpoint that I'm going to commit a certain amount of time each week to get my 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 hours in. We'll hope that it's going to be 10. All right. But I need you to understand this is a business. And your business never pays you like a job. Now, what do we mean by that? What we mean by that is in the early stages of any business, in the early stages of any business, there is a lot more sweat equity, a lot more time and effort and energy that you put into the business earlier on, a lot more. So I'll give you a good example. So since June 16th, we've been promoting, we've got other business interests, but we've been promoting with a lot of our resources, we've been promoting THW Global. Now, November 24th is when the first payment is going to go out for our viewing. Since we started what we call our soft launch on September 21st through the end of October 31st. And viewing pay is going to be paid every month on the 24th of the month for the previous month. So November 24th is going to pay us for all of October and those last 10 days or so in September. Then what we view in November is going to pay us December 24th. What we view in December is going to pay us January, so on and so forth, okay? All right, so in the early stages, there's a lot more sweat equity. So many of us have been, had our hands on the plow ever since mid-June. And we haven't made any money just yet, where we see that our tokens are building and we're going to be able to convert those tokens. And we do have a part of our compensation plan that I may not get a chance to get into too much tonight, that is going to pay as early as commissions will be calculated on the 15th, October 15th, and commissions will be able to get commissions on October 25th for another part of the compensation part of THW Global. All right, so here's the thing. In the early stages of your business, there's a lot more sweat equity. So a few years ago, I'm in a particular enterprise, and I'm actually working this business full time. And at the end of 1 year, I was only making about $800 a month. Certainly far from a full-time income, but I was giving a full-time effort, okay? The next year, a year later, with no more of my time, no more of my effort, I put in about as much time as I did that first year. My income went from $800 a month, which obviously was not a full-time income. I was just putting in a full-time effort, to about $8,000 a month. So my effort did not increase 10 times, but my income did. You see, your business will never pay you like a job. Early on, you're saying, shoot, I'm putting a lot of time in and I'm not getting paid a lot just yet. But then later on, you're putting in no more time and you're just like, well, shoot, how did that happen? How did I 10x my income? How did I 10x my income and I wasn't spending any more time? And then the next 12 months or so, that 8,000 was close to 20,000 a month. And I wasn't spending any more time in year 2 and 3 than I was spending in year 1. Okay? So I said that to say this. In time, the goal is to get you to 1,000 books a month just from your viewing. Is that going to happen in these early stages of THW Global? No. And if YouTube had a referral program or some type of rewards program, it's likely that early on you wouldn't have made a lot of money. I wouldn't have made a lot of money from YouTube. But had we persevered, had they had a rewards program, we probably would be making a killing right now. Okay? So I want you to keep that in mind. By the way we're doing this webinar is a little bit different than what we've done in the past. So I'm a little bit past the time that I had actually set aside, but hopefully this is giving you some really good understanding of THW Global. And I don't want you just buying into hype. There's a lot of people out there promoting THW Global. So I don't want you buying into hype. I want you understanding it as you undertake it. Now let's just cover a couple other things, and then we'll be rounding third. Okay, so you're going to join for free. You're going to watch 10 hours initially, and that's going to be your training. You're not earning tokens for those. That's your sweat equity to help pay for the site without them having to charge for the site, so that people could join for free. All right. As a free IV, you're going to view a minimum of 5 hours a week. Once your 10 hours are logged, you're going to view a minimum of 5 hours a week. And the viewing week starts on Sunday, ends on Saturday, okay, to as much as 10 hours a week, okay. Then, ultimately, the game plan is for people to be able to earn a decent, in the U.S., in Australia, in the UK, that would be a decent part-time wage. In many parts of the world, $1,000 a month would be far more than a livable wage. My friends in the Philippines, where the average might be $325 US a month, that would be 3 times the average. Do I expect anybody to earn this now? No. We are going to understand this is a business, treat it like a job early on, and that we're committed to viewing weekly, okay? Understand that we are still in pre-launch, that there are some, we see some bugs come up from time to time. Sometimes you log in and you see some credits, and then sometimes you log in and I know yesterday my mom got in touch with me. She said, I don't see my tokens. I don't see my tokens. What happened to my tokens? And not long after that, I'm sure the tokens showed up because they were showing up for me. So those types of things happen, all right, in this pre-launch stage. Let me cover 2 more things, and then we'll round third. Okay. Now, I mentioned that everyone gets started for free. All right. Now, here's one thing. I'm going to mention 2 things real quickly. All right. And I'm going to focus on one of them. There are 2 ways that you can generate additional revenue streams. These are paid revenue streams. All right. So one of them is by purchasing what's called an e-learning course. And that is $10 a month. And I think the way it's set up right now is you prepay for 3 months. So that would be $30 to cover 3 months. Now, they have not loaded up the payment processors yet in the back office. When they load up those pay processors, you may just be able to do the $10 a month. Right now, we're sending that into one of the satellite offices around the globe. There's like 9 offices around the world. All right, so right now we're sending that in, and because we're having to send that in, the minimum is $25 to send in any funds. So they are requiring 3 months in advance. This, I want you to strongly consider doing. You want to do this. Now, I just don't have time to cover the whys in as much detail as I would like, because I've really run out of time here, all right? But here's what I want you to do. Join for free, all right? And then I want you to get the, this is optional, but I want you to get the e-learning course, okay? And then I'm going to walk you through real quickly how to join and then how to get that course. The second thing is really for our audience, something that I would have you to understand, but really look for it a little bit further down the road. And that is getting certified, becoming what's called a certified IV. And this is where you actually purchase a certification course that ultimately is going to allow you to sell advertising. And there's some other financial incentives for why you want to be certified. Now, this is several hundreds of dollars. And so for that reason, this is not something that I'm going to say, hey, this is something you definitely want to do right now. But as your business scales, this is something ultimately that you're going to want to consider doing. All right, let me finish with this one concept, and then I'm going to show you how to get started. and we would have finished this part of our webinar for the evening. Okay? All right. Now, we have something that we call our 10-hour pledge. And this has been a staple of our teaching about THW Global from the first time that we did our first webinar when we first heard of THW Global. Okay? Now, we've been in the home business industry since 1994. We certainly have had our share of ups and downs, but we've also had some really big wins in the industry. And a few years back, we started going through some very high-level mastermind courses, because what we were wanting to find out is, why is it that even though we had been very successful in the network marketing arena, the overwhelming majority of network marketers struggle. And yet I would see these other internet marketers, not necessarily network marketers, generating 10 million and more in revenue, not necessarily profits, but in revenue on an annual basis. So we started going to some of these high-level mastermind trainings to get a sense of, what were they doing, all right? And we learned a lot, and we are bringing a lot of that training to our audience so that you can build a long-term sustainable business. Yes, THW Global, we want that to be a part of it, all right? But THW Global is, or any offer, is not your business. Your business is you and your following. And so the 10-hour pledge is going to help us to help you, all right? It's going to help you to build your business. It says this, number one, maximize your viewing income by maximizing your weekly viewing time. So everyone can view up to 10 hours a week. So you want to maximize that. You want to maximize that, okay? And that, because that's going to maximize your viewing income. Now, we know that early on, that viewing income, we don't know what it's going to amount to initially, but down the road, we do expect that viewing income to be, a few $100s, maybe $1,000 per month in viewing income in time if we hit those targets. All right, in time if we hit those targets, okay? All right, the second tenet is take 50% to 100% of your viewing income and recapitalize or reinvest it back into your business in the form of the tools, the resources, and the traffic. All right, and we're just about finished, all right? Okay, so why do most people fail in marketing? Well, most people don't know how to market. And if you don't know how to market, it doesn't matter what you're marketing. Well, if you follow what we're teaching, you'll start to pick up how to market, all right? But here's a big part of it. Many people don't have the proper tools. When we do webinars, especially our training webinars, and we ask, how many of you have a list that you're building, like an email list or an SMS text messaging list? It doesn't matter who I'm talking to. 75% of our audience is going to say, I don't have a list, or I don't have that many people in my list. Well, you've got to have the tools to be able to develop a list. And your Facebook following is not your list, because you don't control Facebook. Facebook can shut you down. We've seen that happen before. It's happened to me, all right? So you want to have the proper tools. You want to have the proper resources. Now, what do I mean by resources? This $10 a month, that's a resource. This certified IV in time, that's a resource, all right? These are things that's going to help contribute to your bottom line. And then ultimately, you want to be able to drive high quality, laser targeted traffic. Now, when you hear people talk about free traffic, nothing's free, all right? There's no such thing as free traffic. But what you and I really want to do, all right, is we want to build a culture that when people join our team, people join our organizations, that ultimately they are investing in paid traffic. They may not start there. They may not have a budget. They may not made enough money to get started there. But ultimately, if a person is making $500 a month, $1,000 a month from their viewing, hey, they can now peel off $200, $300 and do a paid traffic campaign. Get visitors to their site, get visitors to a site that's going to present the offer, all right, in a compelling fashion, not just getting people to your site without, a compelling discussion about, what it's all about. So you want to have the traffic. And so what our audience has really bought into is THW Global is a catalyst, the ability to ultimately earn a decent wage, a decent income, all right, from our viewing, taking a portion of our viewing income, 50% to as much as 100%, and reinvesting that back in the tools and the resources and the website visitors, i.e. traffic, that will allow you to build the organization. Because as I now round third, what we've just discussed is the income you can generate from viewing. Okay, that's all we've talked about. But you can also build something called a 10-level organization. And what that is you refer someone and they come into THW Global, they refer someone and they refer someone. Well, we already have people in our organization that have more than 10,000 folks in their organization. And what happens is when any of these 10,000, and we've got somebody who just told me they went over 20,000 in the organization, all right, when any of their folks view, the people viewing earn income, and then the people in the organization also earn income. So in time, even as a free IV, you could earn $1,000 a month, up to that in your own personal viewing. We know that's not going to happen right away, but you could also earn up to $10,000 a month in your organization as they view. So just think about every time someone is viewing a video in your organization, they're earning some tokens that's going to eventually convert to cash. You'll also be picking up, you'll be overriding the tokens that they are earning, which means you're overriding the cash, okay? So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let me show you how to get started. I appreciate your patience, and that did take me longer than what I had anticipated because we haven't done it just like that before. Next week, we'll come back and we'll be able to shave off some time, but hopefully that gives you a much better sense without any hype and without any sizzle, just, hey, this is how it works, okay? And also, it preps you so that you're not expecting that, ooh, I'm going to be making 25 bucks an hour out of the gate. I'm going to be making $1,000 a month out of the gate. From my viewing. All right, so here's what you're going to do. All righty, let me all right. So you're going to get back to the person. You're going to get back to the person that referred you. Okay, you're going to get back to the person that referred you, and they're going to give you their referral link. All right. By the way, if you're newer, well, I'll show you this in just a moment. Okay, so you're going to get back to the person who referred you. They're going to give you their referral link. And what you're going to simply do is you're going to click where it says register now. And I'm going to go on and I'm going to do a test registration here. All right, so we'll say webinar. My name is Webinar Test. And obviously, you're going to put in your real name. You're going to put in your real email address, webinartest@testing.com. You're then going to put in a username. I'm going to use Webinar Test. I may have done that before, so let's say Webinar Test 5. Then you're going to do a password. Now listen, you want to make sure you select a very strong password. A site like THW Global that's getting so much traffic obviously is going to attract the attention of the bad guys out there, you know, people that might want to hack and what have you. If you particularly start building a large organization where ultimately you might have in your, what we call your e-wallet, you might have in commissions waiting to be withdrawn in time, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, you want to make sure you've got a very strong password so you don't have someone hacking into your account, okay? We've not heard of any problems with any hacking with THW Global, but of course, you know, if they can hack into government stuff, they can hack into stuff. So make sure you've got a strong password. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because this is just a test. All right, and you'll see that when you put in your username, it's going to also put in your website name. Go on and choose your country, all right, whatever country you happen to be in. I'll just go on and choose American Samoa here just for time. And you're going to click register. And it's that simple. You have just registered. Okay, now, if this is the first time you've ever been to the site, what's going to happen, you'll see here where it says click here to access your account. Now, there's a cookie on my computer. So when I click here to access now, it's going to automatically log me into the back office of THW Global. That likely will not be the case for you if you're brand new. Excuse me. What will likely happen is when you click here to access your account, it's going to take you to the video platform, okay? And you might be a little confused. Oh, it took me to the video platform. Well, all you have to do at that point is click where it says sign in. All right, and then you're going to sign in with we'll sign in with the webinar information we just did, webinar test 5. All right, so now I'm just going to sign in right here. Okay, now, so what this has done, this has signed me into the video platform, okay? Now, how do you get to your back office? How do you get to your back office? You see right here where it says IV back office. IV stands for International Viewer. You're going to right click here and it says open link in new tab. You're going to left click where it says open link in new tab. All right, I'm going to put those instructions on the whiteboard again. So here's what happened. What happened is you registered, and you saw how quickly we did that. That was very simple, okay? And then after you registered, there was a link that said click here. All right, click here to kind of, log in. But what the system does, if you've never been to THW Global, is it takes you to the video platform. So what you have to do in the right-hand corner is you sign in to the video platform. Once you do that, you're going to see where it says IV back office. You're going to see where it says IV back office. We did a right click on there. Okay, so we looked at IV back office. We did a right click, and then we opened that up in a new tab. So you see right here, here's the existing tab we're on now, and when we open that up in a new tab, it did this right here. All right, so just left click there. Okay, now that you are in your back office, let me show you a couple things that you want to get done. All right, number one, you want to go to where it says Survey Center, and you want to take the demographic survey. No one can begin viewing until they've taken the demographic survey. So you're going to click where it says demographic survey. I'll put this on the whiteboard, okay? All right, so when you're in your back office, you're going to go to the Survey Center and the demographic survey. Okay, you're going to take this demographic survey. I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm not going to take the time to take it. Are you male or female? Well, obviously I'm a male. And your age and your race and all this other stuff here. Okay, you're going to get down to the part where it's asking you for the activities and the interests of you and your household members. So this needs to be not just the things you're interested in, but anyone in your household. So, if maybe you're not interested in automotive, but your husband is, or your son is, or what have you. Okay, sweepstakes and contests. My wife loves horses. We don't own a horse now. We used to, but she loves horses. So I knew she'd want to see something about horses. And my wife loves gourmet foods and cooking, or at least she loves watching the gourmet foods and cooking TV shows. She hadn't quite done the gourmet. She can cook, hadn't been the gourmet part yet. Don't get me in trouble with my wife, okay? All right, so you go down and you click everything that applies to you and anyone in your family. That way you're seeing videos that are in alignment with your interests, and you're seeing advertisements that are in alignment with your interests. So you fill out that survey, and then you click up here where it says submit survey, and that's done. It should take you no more than 5 minutes. Okay. Now I'm not going to do that just because of time. So what we did when we came in our back office, we did the demographic survey. Number one. Number two, we're going to come up here where it says message center. We're going to come up here where it says message center, and there's advertising all in the back because we're advertising company, right? All right. So all you have to do is like scroll down, and you're going to see this very first message here. All right. Welcome to THW, unread. You want to click on this so that you can do a couple of things. Number one, you want to grab your own personal referral link. So right here, here's your link, and you could now get that out. You can post that on Facebook, or you can email it out or tweet it out if you have a list of folks. Now, what you'll want to do is just make sure, you put like the HTTP thingy there. Did I do that right? Is it cool? Yeah, I think I did that right. Okay. So now you can go on and send that out. I strongly recommend, if you have family members in your household, people that live under your same roof that are 18 or older, go on and get them registered through your link. So register that spouse, register those children, because they can view as well. There's 4 of us that are 18 or older in my household, so all of us, we do our viewing, and we know we're not making $1,000 right now, but the game plan is ultimately, if we come anywhere close to $1,000 from our own personal viewing, that will add close to $4,000 a month to our household budget. Okay. All right. So now, get your referral links. Get your referral links. Okay. In terms of the e-learning course, that's the $10 a month that we strongly recommend that you consider. The way that you would do that is you would simply click on where it says e-learning. And it's going to say, darn, you don't have sufficient funds right now to make the purchase. So you would select your plan. I would suggest you select the 3-month plan. And then you can always, and then make some money so that you can cover beyond those 3 months. Right now, they don't have any of the payment processors. So what I'm also doing right now is I'm showing you, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are already with us, how to take care of this for those of you who want to go on and do this, okay? All right, so we did the e-learning. We did the 3-month there. So we're going to deposit $30 into our e-wallet account here with THW Global. Now, they don't have PayPal back here yet, or Payza or Solid Trust Pay. Those are supposed to be coming. Right now, what you do is you're going to deposit by cashier's check or money order. You're going to choose the location of where you want to send that. So if you're in the U.S., for instance, you want to send it to the U.S. So if you're in Germany or Russia or what have you. Now, I know that some of you are not in any of these countries, and I did submit a support ticket today. I haven't got an answer just yet to find out, if you are outside of these countries, what does that mean for you in terms of when they may actually have the payment processor, so you're not having to send regular mail. It might take weeks depending on where you are, or having to go out and get a courier like FedEx that might cost you far more than the $30 just to deliver it. Okay, don't have an answer. Hopefully, when we have our next webinar on Thursday night, we may have an answer for you from support. Okay, so let's say if you were in the U.S., you would choose the U.S. You would hit continue. You would then confirm your deposit. And then what's going to happen is you're going to get this document here. It's got a little barcode here. You want to print this out. Go and get your money order. And this is going to give you the address to where you are sending it. You're also going to get an email as well, okay? Again, you are going to print out that form. It'll come to you an email. You're going to print out that form. you are going to, I would make a copy of the form, all right, obviously. They have a copy, I think, in your back office. They'll have a copy in your back office, and you simply attach a money order with the deposit instructions as follows. You'll put your ID number on the money order or on the certified check or what have you, and that will cover you for the $10 a month times the 3 months or what have you. The reason you want to do that is that's going to generate a whole new income stream for you. We don't have time to cover that. You guys have already been very, very benevolent with your time. Okay, so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, obviously we're over time, so I'm not going to get into any training as it relates to marketing training tonight because we're already over time. I guess since we're here, let's just make sure that you know that once you're starting to view, you can come here under viewing stats. You'll be able to look at your viewing history as well as your weekly summary so that you can get a sense of where you stand for your 10 hours or where you stand for your minimum of 5 hours. You know, once you do your 10 hours, that qualifies you to start earning. And then obviously you want to start, viewing for your earnings. And so that'll give you a sense of how all that works. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, we're well past our time. All right. I do apologize for that. We're well past our time, but you should now have a good sense of how to get started, what you want to do. No fluff. Yes, we can make some money. It can be some big money in time. But at the same time, let's treat this like a business. One thing I did not talk about, we'll talk about on our Thursday night webinar, which our Thursday night webinar will be right here at 8 o'clock. That'll be more training. We'll be talking about some of the systems that we have that are coming out that will help you build your business name. We have a mobile marketing platform that also stands alone as an income generating platform as well. Let's take a few minutes. I don't have a lot, unfortunately. Let's take a few minutes, Queen. I've got only about 15 minutes, Queen. Let's go comb through the questions and see what the most pressing questions are. And for those of you who have questions, you can go in and put your questions in your questions box. Obviously, we don't have a lot of time tonight, but we'll try to address as many as we can in 15 minutes.